Hi, people of the world of the internet. Today I am doing a video that has been requested countless times, and it has been almost 5 years since I last recorded a Q&A video for you, the viewer, to get to know me a little bit better. I always feel awkward filming stuff like this because I'm not that important. Building cars is cooler than watching an idiot talk on camera, but you have requested it and you were the reason why I exist. Not technically, you didn't have sex with my parents, but let's get to the video. Much like the last Q&A video, I offered the opportunity to my Patreon supporters to come up with some really good questions that dig deep down for those of you watching to be able to get to know me a little bit better. So here are 16 questions in no particular order. Bubble! I'm excited to give this a try over here. And in case you're wondering, I plan on fully multitasking throughout this video because work must be completed. First question, if I had to start all over again, what would or wouldn't I do? There's parts of me that wishes I would have never done YouTube for a living or social media in general. I don't know if it's the healthiest thing a human being can do. The more I do this, the less I want to do this because I don't want more attention on me. And I don't want to be famous. But also I feel blessed at the same time for the opportunities I have been given and the opportunity to do what I love for a living. I don't know what I would do if I could start all over again. I'm me, so I'd probably make the same choices. Still to this day, when I meet random people in person and they ask what I do for a living, I find it hard to explain or even say the word YouTube because it just doesn't seem like a real job. Even though I work myself stupid and work 7 days a week, usually 10 to 12 hours a day, and haven't really taken a day off since I started doing this full time 8 years ago, which sounds psychotic because it is. So with that said, hopefully out of the questions I selected from the patrons, these will really dig down deep and give you a better idea of who I am rather than just like what's my favorite color or what do I smell like? Or how many Rocky Mountain oysters can I fit in my mouth at one time? You know, just the typical stuff you get in comments on YouTube. There! Clean, clean, clean. Next question. What is the greatest tech advancement or personal skill development since I started, and how has it helped me with filming or producing content? That is such a good question. Solid state hard drives have made it easier and easier, skill development wise. I would say with anything, the more you do it, the better you are at it. 10,000 hours. I'm probably like 1 billion hours now at this point. Does it make sense today to rely solely on YouTube income? Absolutely not. You can't do this if you rely solely on YouTube ad revenue. It's just not a reliable source of income. And because I don't do sponsorships really, it makes it even more challenging. That's why Patreon is so critical for me to be able to survive, because I don't have a retirement plan with this, and I spend literally almost everything I make on making more content for you guys, which is probably not financially smart. Said I was gonna multitask in this video and I mean it. I feel it's worth it though, because when I build a car, I want it to be to the peak potential that I have within my head and not withheld by just what parts are available to me based on sponsorships or what I can find for free. What I'm doing right now is pulling the gauge cluster on the MR2 because I scored a super minty one that has a period correct aftermarket boost gauge installed as well as a working temp gauge because mine is bad internally. So what I need to do is swap out my speedometer so that way I retain my odometer into the new gauge cluster. Does it feel any different now talking in front of a camera versus when I first started? I've never found it difficult. I hate doing it in public places. I hate like SEMA videos. That is like my one difficult area, is I never feel comfortable pulling my camera out and doing this. It feels narcissistic to me. Next question. What has kept me going after 8 years given the long hours and financial challenges? The long hours, I can't complain because I do it to myself. I push myself this hard to keep up with my upload schedule, and I choose to work this many hours. The financial challenges, again, I do that to myself. I choose not to shove ball hair cream commercials down your throats because I don't want to do this just solely to make commercials. I make content, not commercials. The small furry birds are holding me against my will, and they made me do this just because they'll pick my eyes out if I don't. It's the following day, and this next question is a fun one. It's what other YouTube channels inspire me? I don't watch a lot of automotive YouTube channels because I'm immersed in it all day long and I just want to get away from it at the end of the day. But if there is one automotive channel that is the GOAT of automotive content and always will be, it's Mighty Car Mods. Not just because of their videos, but because of the people behind it. Marty and Moog, I feel, have like the most genuine, charismatic personalities that have carried the test of time, and that is an inspiration to me. Aside from that, I find myself watching lots of weather and storm chasing related channels, as well as travel and science stuff that's just educational. Back on the topic of multitasking, got something in the Bronco I need to take care of, and yes, I also got a new hardtop for the thing warranted. It actually came in less than a week after the video I made on it. Those pack rats! If you look down inside there, you can see the wire harness going to the pressure tank sensor, and it's all chewed up. A pack rat got in there and chewed my wiring. It's a good thing that I ran my fuel tank almost completely empty, so this shouldn't weigh too much. The next question is, what is my production workflow like? That's a really good question. Allow me to show you. Aside from the exterior driving shots when I film car reviews, everything I do with 2 cameras on 2 tripods. Which means while I'm working on the vehicle, I constantly have to be conscious of where my cameras are at so I don't trip over them, and to make sure that they're still capturing the shot that I need for the video. As you can imagine, it's a ton of work. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to film. And yes, cameras do get damaged on a regular basis. Any other way? I think not. I think that's gotta come. Ah, man! I gotta take my ARB skid plates off to get the tank out. There we go. That's out of the way. Just one wire. Oh no. Oh, it's the whole f***ing plug. Stupid pack rats. There's no way I can get a camera up inside there, but the pack rat chewed the wire in 2 different spots on the harness and sheared the plug right off of it. Note, it has been chewed completely clean off by a pack rat. Typically, I have 2 cameras going at once to give you extra angles. Normally, I hide these cameras so you can't see them in the background because it feels like you're not supposed to. It's like the little guy in the cloud that flies above Mario Kart. I just need to get this thing out so I can repair it. Harness is unplugged from the top. So what I need to do is peel back the Tessa tape, and I'm gonna redo all this. Hey, there's a part number on this harness. I bet you I could just order a new one. I'm gonna do that. Yep, there it is. Wire, Ford, there's a part number. And it's 30 bucks. Let's order that. And then about every hour or so, I'll take the clips I just recently shot, import them into my video editing software just in case any files corrupt or there's any major catastrophic issues, and I build out the video storyline as I film it. Which leads into my next question. At what point do I think I might consider hiring help? Do I eventually hope to have a team? Answer to that is no. Especially for mechanic stuff in the shop, no. I would have to have someone that I have chemistry with on camera. That means I have to have known them for a long time. And also I'd want them to be technically as proficient as I am and also have that level of attention to detail and care, no, when working on things mechanical, so they just be in the way, no. And that's like a 6-figure salary to be able to afford that, and I can't afford that, no. And as far as editing goes, that's a no also, because I like to troll myself in my edits, and you'd have to be in my brain to know how to do that, and I don't think it's possible. Who designed these plugs? Well, I'm never finding that again. I found it. That might look like a Sumitomo connector, maybe? Hell yeah, I got those. Luckily, the pack rat chewed it right at the end of the plug, so I can just put new pins on this. Instead, I found it works best having a part-time jack-of-all-trades help like Angel, and on the flip side, I'm also teaching him my side of doing YouTube for a living, since that's his ultimate end goal. Luckily, dropping the fuel tank on this thing is like a 10-minute job, and undoing that plug is like a 5-minute job. So, This will be really easy to change out when that new harness comes. And then there is also Karen, aka Mrs. Food Cake, which you guys don't see on camera, who is running the show when it comes to my merchandise and is a part owner of the RoboBubble company I started. Other than that, I don't ever see myself adding any more of a team because I'd prefer to just do all the work on the cars myself because that's how this channel started and that's the way I want to keep it. How do I maintain a passion for cars after being a technician my entire life? After I got out of the Air Force, I didn't want to touch a wrench ever again, so I finished my degree in logistics and then got a job, and I did it for 3 months, and I absolutely hated doing that. So I realized my passion and my skill set of being a mechanic or a technician, I had to follow it, and I decided to just work on things that I am passionate about, cars I am interested in, and that keeps the passion alive. And that's why I would never want to work on someone else's project, because I don't want to work on someone else's junk. Would working for another franchise or YouTube channel be better? I don't feel so, because why would I want to bust my ass to make someone else successful and get paid less money than I ultimately could make if I just worked for myself and busted my ass for myself? Would I ever consider an EV conversion project? No, for the same reason why I don't believe in taking an engine from a different manufacturer and sticking it in a different manufacturer car. It is not my cup of tea. Ouch. She's going the distance. She's going for speed. OBD2 by Braille. Can I do it? Hey, I've figured it out. This is the little thing that loaded the Ford Performance Tune. Diagnostic tools, clear DTCs, clear codes, back and forth and forth and back and forth and forth. I probably got to cycle the power. Okay, 1 key cycle. Hello, welcome to the following day. Meet Squid. Those of you who know, my cat Ping passed away of cancer a couple months ago, and I only have one other cat, Butters, and he's been kind of lonely.
You just take a huge shit. I smell it.
So, I adopted this little guy from a no-kill shelter. He has a twin sister that's still available. I'll put contact info below if you guys want to adopt his little sister. Literally an identical twin to him. He's so sweet. It's a day later and a question later. Next question. I'm gonna answer it from up here. What interested my audience that I originally thought you might not like? This video right here. This type of video. I don't like filming these, but apparently you like watching them. I'm doing this literally just for you. What are my short-term and long-term goals of this channel? Short-term, keep working on what I'm working on, projects. I want to get onto the next full restoration after the Celica that I've had sitting for like 2 years now. Long-term goals, if I can ever build a barn dominium, I want to film that, building like a dream garage on a budget, obviously, but I don't know if I would do that on this YouTube channel or on my second Give It the Beans channel. And speaking of Give It the Beans, another long-term goal is I'll probably eventually launch a podcast on the Give It the Beans channel. Are you out of shape because you breathe heavily in videos? That's not really a question. How has doing social media changed me as a person? That's a deep one. A part of me has died inside from the negative implications of having that many people trying to interact with you on a daily basis and seeing comments of people that aren't in good mental spaces in their lives taking out their aggression on you over the internet, because it's easy to do that through type than it would be face to face. And then there's also the good side of things where you meet somebody and they're like, hey, you inspired my daughter to join automotive class in school, or hey, my wife and I decided to get a project car because of seeing your videos. I get those two a lot, those two exact scenarios, and that is like super heartwarming, and it makes doing this worth it.
I've never had a car hate me this Ever. Not even
You gotta give it some love.
not even the 50-year-old cars I would date and drive.
Angel doesn't have a lift at his shop, so I'm letting him use my lift because his exhaust was rubbing on the rear suspension, just needs to rotate it. But while he's working on the crew cab Mustang, next question, if I could do either car reviews or project car videos, only one of those two, which would it be? Probably project cars. I would give up car reviews to just do only project car stuff. I like doing car reviews, even if they're cars that most people aren't interested in, just because I genuinely am passionate about any vehicle. Even if it's a vehicle I don't like, I still am interested in driving it, reviewing it. Are there things about a new car I see on paper that make me excited for it even before driving it? Yes, the Mitsubishi Mirage is a case in point example of that. I'm excited about that little car and I've never driven one, and unfortunately it's getting discontinued. But that car made me excited about it, especially when it was available with a manual transmission. I don't know what it is, but I've always found myself drawn to cheap, simple cars being more enjoyable than super expensive, exotic cars. I don't know why that is, but I think I'll always gravitate to having a passion towards cheap, economical cars with manual transmissions. There's something just special about them. That right there is the side effects of greatly upgrading your suspension on a Crown Victoria and then putting 200,000 miles on it. Broke this right off the frame where the anti-sway bar attaches. To be fair, this anti-sway bar is like 3 times the girth of the original one. Just run with no rear anti-sway bar until you weld it in place. Just don't go crazy with it.
Don't get crazy with the cheese whiz.
Correct. For those of you that were hoping to see a blooper compilation video at the end of the year, I've actually just been kind of leaving bloopers in videos. So there wasn't anything to, I'm a living blooper. So there's a wasp flying around the ceiling. With that said, I'll get back to work on regular scheduled programming next, as well as I'll have some stuff on other vehicles coming. And thank you for watching this nonsense over all these years. And I'll just keep making these videos until eventually I'm making them from a nursing home, modifying my hover wheelchair. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.